on the border wall. The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't, they wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No.
All right, that was President Biden answering questions about his move to waive 26 laws and allow more border wall to be built along the southern border of the United States. Again, this is a massive reversal from candidate Biden, who promised that there will not be another foot, I think was the quote, of border wall constructed in his administration. And there he is saying that he had no choice. He had to approve more construction on the border wall. Does he believe it works? No. So let's get into the details. His excuse, again, about why he had to use the money, according to a notice posted to the Federal Register Wednesday, the construction of the wall will be paid for by already appropriated funds, earmarked specifically for that physical border barrier. The administration was under a deadline to use them or lose them. But the move comes at a time when a new migrant surge is straining federal and local resources and placing heavy political pressure on the Biden administration to address a sprawling crisis. And the notice cited high illegal entry. So use it or lose it. I would say lose it. Remember how you tried to stop Donald Trump and how this was the whole reason? You remember how you guys are at different parties and anyway, but also this is just further evidence that he doesn't think that it works physically. Like, it doesn't work in stopping migrants from fleeing. They are gang-ridden or poverty-stricken countries. We'll talk about that in a sec. But it does maybe stop Republicans from calling him, soft on immigrants, right? Or like, oh, he doesn't care about border security. But does it even do that? Yasmin, what do you make of this? Well, I had to use it. It was already there. There's nothing I can do excuse.
Yeah, so pretty much exactly what you said is what I took away from it. I live in Texas. I'm in Houston, so it's not exactly a border town, but I hear a lot of people around these parts talking about how the border's in crisis and all these things are happening. I haven't seen it personally, but maybe that's just me. I live in a very small part of Texas. That said, Biden is in a position of optics, right? Like he has an issue with optics, right? Whether or not there is a problem at the border, which, maybe there is. We do need a solution as far as what to do with the people coming in through from Mexico into the United States, right? So deal with it, like deal with that problem. The wall, as we know, as Biden even said himself, is not the solution. That's not what works. And the fact that they had to overwrite, 26 federal laws just to get this done is crazy. That's a lot of effort to do something just for the sake of optics, just to tell people or just to, promote the illusion that you're tough on immigration, that you're tough on keeping Americans safe, whatever the talking point is at this point. Yeah. So I think he's trying to play politics. He's trying to play both sides. But at the same time, it's not really going to functionally make that much of a difference, as he said himself. So he still needs to do something. At least we know no more taxpayer money is going towards this, so that's a relief. But it's still just a Band-Aid solution to a weird problem. And at the same time, he's alienating the people who voted for him in the first place. And he's up for re-election. And that shouldn't go unsaid or unnoticed. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Probably one of the biggest issues that people who were against Trump, who protested Trump, was around his treatment of migrants, was around his rhetoric around the border, right? That's the piece, that's basically the slogan of the Trump administration. And it's the one issue that Biden sadly has been in lockstep with the former administration on, right? Continuing to deny people asylum and now continuing to build the wall. Now, let's be real, guys. If you've been to the border, the US-Mexico border, there's a lot of fences. It might not be like a concrete wall, but there's a lot of barriers there, right? And we can talk about, let's just be real. No Republican is gonna give Joe Biden credit for continuing to build barriers or the wall and whatnot. Some of those laws The 26 laws have to do with eminent domain. They have to do with people's private property. The fact that the wall and these barriers will be built on that private property. It has to do with environmental regulations, the Rio Grande. It has the destruction that barriers cause and that a wall would cause to the Rio Grande River is massive. So these are people, right? There are a lot of people, and interestingly, we don't have to go down this road, but like a lot of the people living on the border say, yeah, there are folks who enter and leave, but I'm not being immediately threatened. I am more threatened by the militarism that is taking place thanks to Customs and Border Patrol and thanks to this border barrier and wall. But of course, Donald Trump is gonna take the victory lap on this one, and he bleated, so interesting to watch crooked Biden break every environmental law in the book to prove that I was right. So you agree they're environmental laws. When I built 560 miles, they incorrectly state 450 in the story of brand new beautiful border wall. As I have stated often, over 1,000 years, there are only two things that have consistently worked: wheels and walls. That's a first, dude. Like, I'm not like I follow your work, bro. Like I've listened to all your albums and stuff. I've never heard wheels and walls from you. I've heard the windmills. I've heard the toilets flushing. I've heard all your other greatest hits. Never heard the wheels and walls though. That's cool. That's cool. So there he goes, on and on and on. Of course, rubbing it in, honestly, Democrats' face. There's more bad news on the immigration front. Biden resumed deportations of Venezuelan migrants, again, escaping a country that has faced massive economic hardship right now, as well as, and Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Director, discussed that. It's not good, y'all. There's more, and a lot of this was because the reason he's doing this is because he's faced pressure, not just from Republicans, but also from Democrats. You've got J.B. Pritzker of Chicago, you've got Eric Adams of New York. These are Democrats saying we can't handle the influx of migrants currently. And all I have to say is invest the money in those countries, drop the sanctions on Venezuela, stop spending money to criminalize drugs. Stop making the war on drugs a thing that is coming on the backs of civilians and innocent people. There's an idea. But hey, what do I know?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.